My name is Leslie DuPratt. I've been painting since I was a child, so that's a pretty long time. and my medium is oil. I started getting my degree in 1975. I wanted to be an artist. And then I decided, well, I wanted to be an art teacher. But then I decided not to be an art teacher. And it was suggested I take up typing. And that didn't suit me either because I'm a really bad typist. So I decided to go into the fashion industry. And I was designing clothes and selling them in boutiques. And it was fun, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I then went off to Italy and I opened a gym of bodybuilding, aerobics, and modern dance, kung fu and karate. And I had that for 12 years. And it was a very good experience. I modeled and traveled, and that helped shape me into who I am today. I'm making fun of maybe society's pressures on women, the women that are trying to decide to balance work and home and maybe try to do both, but not doing them very well because you're exhausted. So I kind of try to capture this or capture I want something else, never content in what you're doing. Capture today's environment and a woman caught in that environment. She's uh, in her kitchen, in her bathroom, uh, going about her day, getting ready for work, or cooking dinner, or at the kitchen table. Things like this that are common everyday occurrences. My passion is fueled by painting alone in my studio, mixing my paint. I could be in there for hours and hours and not even realize that I've actually been there and done that. It's just, it happens. I could go without food and just paint and paint and paint. And a lot of times I have to remember to take a break. And if somebody comes and knocks on the door or and I have to leave the room, I'll still have my paintbrushes in my hand and they'll be so tight I have to, you know, let go of them sometimes. I get in this zone where I'm just only thinking about what I'm doing. I feel the figurative artists are the most important artists. Uh, Landscape artists, they're nice and interesting, but I think uh, recreating the human body is the highest form of art. The objects and theme is the common everyday object that you find in the home, my home, that I use in my paintings. I use objects of clothing, shoes. Shoes are very important. Stiletto heels, lipsticks, pearls. They're provocative uh, objects, but they're very common. They're feminine objects. That's very important in my work. I more the feminine point of view. Woman in her home, trying to balance career, family life. These are important topics for my work. I've shown from the county fair to larger galleries, out of state to locally, um, figurative shows, common object shows, still lifes, landscapes. I've done it all. I use myself as the model for my works. I want a mature woman, sort of someone that's felt things and done things, and you know, you have a decision in what you're doing. You pretty much know what you're about. I know what I want. If I'm looking for humor, if I'm looking for sadness, I guess I can feel that expression, because it's very important to have that pain or suffering show on the face, or that nonchalance, or more or less I'm the boredom that I want the expression to be. So that's why I choose myself. I put a little piece of myself in every piece of work, whether it's an eye, lips, the whole body, the hands. There's a piece of me in each of my works. Color is a very important part of my paintings. I especially love using the color red, and you'll see red panties, red apples, red lipstick. The lips have to be red. It's enticing color, and I love using it. I find it interesting and beautiful, the different shades, the different colors, the shadows, and different hues of red. So in most of my paintings, when you look, there'll be some object of red. I think realism is the universal language, and that's why I paint realistically. I want everyone to understand it. I don't want them to have to look at a painting and have to decipher it like it's code. I know that realism seems to be falling out of fashion. I think that's kind of silly. I think art is heading or in a way that it's on a search. It doesn't have any direction, but people are always trying to use new mediums. They're looking like paper bags or trash bags or pots and pans. Their own bodies. They're calling it art. It's very mixed up, and then there's the, like, oh, here's a rock, whatever. I don't know. To me, I look at that and I bore me. Just bore me. I can't stand it. I'm not impressed by it. I think there's a lot to see in the old methods, but perhaps you have to capture a concept of looking at everyday life, maybe, and you try to make that fresh. It's very difficult. It's not easy to just make a painting and say, oh, here it is, bam. No, you have to create. It's a process. You have to really work at. It's not something anyone can just, oh, I'm going to do that, but I see a lot of that happening. So you have this randomness of things out there that they call art, and it's very confusing. It's very monotonous. I just don't think that looking at a block of cement or an empty picture frame, I don't know. To me, that doesn't say anything about our society today. That's just saying I want to find something new and different, to be different. And that, I think, is ridiculous. This body of work has been a challenge. It's morphed from something else into something new. I've decided to do a full nude because I feel it incorporates everything that my painting is about: the figure, the tile, the objects, the stilettos, the lipstick, which is a very important object in my painting. It's very feminine. It's the feminine perspective of painting, I think. I'm not showing the female nude as seductive. It's more the female nude just sitting there, being comfortable in your skin. Today's woman, not posing, just being yourself. It's a painting that I find it'll be remarkable in its simplicity.